Who taught you sex education?
My mother. When I was 8 years old, she was pregnant with my youngest brother, and I asked questions and she gave me the correct.
Do you think sex education is actually educational, and why?
Depends on who's teaching it. My mom was educational when she taught me. In 8th grade, I saw a video about what happens to a girl's body during puberty and what happens to a boy's body during puberty. That was educational. Now, if you're just going to put a coach up in front of the classroom and get a textbook and say this part is this part and this part is this part and this is what it's supposed to do, that's not sex education. You need somebody that's going to thoroughly explain to you so you know. Do you know how many days a month you can get pregnant? Do you? How many months a day can you get pregnant?
14, right?
Nope. There's actually only 3 days a month you can get pregnant. And that is just before, or how about this? You know how long sperm can live in a female body?
How long?
Up to 10 days. Did you not know that? That's why you need sex education.
When do you think is the appropriate age for someone to have sex, and why?
To have sex, it's going to be different for everybody. I don't think anybody in high school is emotionally ready or stable enough to have sex. Every time you have sex, you should expect a pregnancy because it could happen. It doesn't matter if you're on birth control. It doesn't matter if you're using a condom or a diaphragm or anything. I got pregnant on the birth control pill. So if you're going to have sex, you need to be emotionally, financially stable so that you can take care of a baby, because you're going to be involved with that person for the rest of your life. If you're not prepared to be involved with that person for the rest of your life, don't have sex with them.
Who taught you sex education?
We had a sex education class when I was in junior high, I think. And that was step number one of that. And then my parents knew, I would have died if they'd have tried to talk to me about anything like that. So they gave me a book to learn about it. They knew that's how I would probably take it a lot easier. And so that was my experience with that.
Okay, so in conclusion, what is your position on sex education altogether?
I think it's a good thing. Like I said, in schools, we have to come at it from the abstinence angle, but I think they provide some really good information on that. And I know it's uncomfortable for people, but I think it's valuable information.
Okay, thank you.
When do you think is the appropriate age for someone to have sex?
The appropriate age? Well, who am I to tell? Oh, well, when you're married.
Okay.
Is that an answer?
Yes,
Please tell
that's
me other
definitely an
people.
answer. Okay, is sex education actually educational?
Yeah, you learn some because you learn about the diseases and the side.
Not to double rap. It busts easier. I heard that. No, bro, the speaker told us that.
Don't double rap, I guess.
Okay. When do you think is the appropriate age for someone to have sex? Why?
Shit, I was like 16. 16.
I guess 17. Whenever you find your true love, I guess.
16, maybe. Maybe.
I don't know. There's different situations. Depends on the situation you're in, I think.
Yeah.
What is your position on sex education in schools? Like, you for or against it?
I'm for it.
Yeah.
I think it should be taught.
It should. When that guy comes, it's very educational. But it's too late for some people, I guess. But it's never too late.
What is your definition of sex education?
My definition of sex education is an all-encompassing curriculum that covers a range of topics that should start at a very young age, starting in grade school and developing over a period of several years to high school. And it's an all-encompassing. It covers more than just sex and abstinence and birth control. It covers relationships, dating, feelings and emotions that go with it. So sex education is more than just teaching kids not to have sex.
What is the appropriate age to learn sex education?
Like I said earlier, I think sex education begins in the lower grades. I'm talking elementary school. And it should, I think it should be a scaffolding process that they're introduced to relationship kind of things that in a younger age, and the whole thing about no touching, you know, those kind of things are probably important to teach at a very young age. And as children continue to develop and mature, then they can handle more things. You know, we get into 6th grade or whatever, we should be talking about puberty and the changes our body goes through puberty. And then as we get to junior high, about the appropriate age for having sex, about birth control, consequences of having sex. And then as we get into high school, we're dating more about dating violence, about strong relationships, about the emotions that are involved. And so it should be, for my opinion is, that sex education starts at the low grades and continues on all the way. That's the only way we're going to be able to develop young people with healthy sexual understanding and sexual maturity and knowing how to handle sex and all the things that go with it.
What is your position on sex education?
Overall, my position is quite obvious, that I promote sex education in schools. I think we do a detriment to our students because it's not about just sex. There's so many other things in there that we don't know and understand about our bodies, boys and girls, that we don't know. And a really good sex education curriculum would really open that door, but it needs to be frank, it needs to be open, kids need to be allowed to talk about whatever they want to talk about, it needs to be all-encompassing, and we need to offer contraceptives in the schools. I know it's very controversial, and I'll get a lot of flack about that, but that's what it's for you. It's for my young people looking at sitting right here. That's for you guys, especially for girls. You know, promoting the power of women. You need to be, I think for women especially, really need to have a really good sex education curriculum, so you know what you can say and what you can do, what your body does, and so you can know your body like the know the back of your hand.
Do you think sex education is actually educational?
Not at all the times. It depends on who is teaching it, because some may be just, I hate to use the word coaches, or other people who just throw.
Do you think sex education promotes sexual intercourse?
Yes, I think it does.
Why?
Well, because some people don't have the idea in their head, and then you're placing it completely in their head.
Do you think information about safe sex should be taught?
That's a hard one, because you wouldn't like to, or I would not like, how do I put this? Sometimes I feel like if I would give information on that, that is saying that the student is not capable of waiting and making that good choice to wait. Does that make sense? It's like I'm giving you the tools because I know you're not strong enough to wait. So it's hard to, but then there are other people who even their parents don't feel like they should wait. So I don't know, I think it might be the parents' choice whether or not to share that information.
Okay, so in conclusion, what is your position on sex education in schools?
I think it's important. I would, I guess, probably even like to have more, because I feel like so many parents don't share that information. It's hard to talk about. It's not easy, and so I think a lot of parents either don't have the time or are just nervous about sharing the information with their kid. So I think it's important for them to get this information somehow, and if that's at school, then we need to do it.
In the bloopers.
Okay, I got it. Make the face again.
There's something on your teeth.
Oh, is there? How's my lipstick? Does this color look good on me? Does it?
Great.
Okay, I tried it.
Okay, who taught you sex education?
Oh, no one actually taught it to me. I'm supposed to look over here. Okay.
Please get out of the room.
Where's the video?
It, because there's room for, scratch that. I don't remember what I said.